Welcome, everybody. We're starting a new band today. Isn't that exciting?
I've come a little punk rock for the occasion because I don't know who it is.
She doesn't know. I don't usually tell her when we're...
Even though he does ask me, do you want to know? And I specifically say, no.
It's hard to believe we've had the channel this long and we have not done any Rolling Stones.
Oh, are we doing the Rolling Stones?
Yes, because I did a poll on Patreon and this is what was selected.
Goody!
Okay.
Thanks, patrons.
But we're doing something a little different. Normally we do entire albums, but instead, to kick off the Rolling Stones on this channel, they put out a lot of good singles. Okay. So we're gonna we'll eventually do an album. We're going back as far as we've ever gone to. Dial it back to 1968.
You're talking about actual time.
What? Yeah.
How many albums previous, though?
They might have had 5 or 6 albums already. I just want to know
how long they've been around at this point. God, they're old. And they're still touring.
It's amazing.
That's great.
And I've seen them live a couple of times. So in the next 2 videos, we're going to be doing 4 of their big singles from that time. So today we're doing 1968. The big singles they had out in 1968 were Jumpin Jack Flash and Street Fighting Man. So... She doesn't know the Stones very well. Can you believe that?
I don't know any of this.
It's possible she hasn't heard these songs. When I was a kid, I used to listen to a lot of Rolling Stones, especially since I had older siblings.
On the radio or just records?
Both.
Okay.
But, lately, no. I haven't listened to the Stones in ages. So I'm kind of psyched to get back into them again. Because these songs are so classic, they get covered all over the place by all sorts of people.
Oh, goody.
So we're going to hear some interesting cover versions in the next couple of videos. In this one, we're going to hear a cover version by Aretha Franklin and Rage Against the Machine. We're going to start with Jumpin Jack Flash. That single was released back in May of 1968. I'm going to be interested to see if you know this song. Does this lyric sound familiar to you? I was born in a crossfire hurricane.
No.
Okay.
And that doesn't make sense.
Well, it refers to being born in England during World War II.
Great pain elicits great art in many ways. You have to have something. You have to have something that sparks, like the impetus inside you. That's a knife wound that cuts so deep that it wakes something up that never would have been touched otherwise. Survival instinct.
This song has 2 guitars on it. Brian Jones plays the electric guitar. Keith Richards is actually playing acoustic guitar and bass.
That's a name I know.
Bill Wyman usually plays bass, but he plays organ on this track. And of course, we have Mick Jagger singing and Charlie Watts on the drums.
Okay.
That's always the case. Here we go. 1968, Jumpin Jack Flash. Very interesting opening.
I already automatically like the guitar.
Watch it! I was born in a crossfire hurricane.
It's the way he says it too.
Oh, yeah.
He spits it out.
I love me some Mick Jagger.
But it's all right.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a guess. But it's all right. I'm Jumpin Jack Flash. It's a guess, guess, guess. I was raised by a toothless bearded hag.
This has to be one of the greatest riffs
I
ever.
was schooled with a strap right across my back. But it's all right. In fact, it's a guess. But it's all right. I'm Jumpin Jack Flash. It's a guess, guess, guess.
There's an organ there.
Yeah.
There's an organ.
Yeah. That's fun layering.
Plus, they often had extra musicians in session with them, especially for piano. Did you not know that song?
Nope.
Holy crap, people. Can you believe that?
Never have heard that song.
I'm like, come on.
Okay, so hearing that now, however long you took a break from the Stones, how do you feel about it?
I was digging it, man.
Yeah.
That's a song I've probably heard a million times, but I haven't heard it lately.
I like his voice.
I love his
Really,
voice.
really
And I do remember as a kid, he was like my favorite singer when I was young, you know, like in grade school.
He enunciates. I can hear the words. I'm not just kind of like, what is he saying?
Plus, he just has a cool sound. And when he yells, especially if he gets like excited.
Yeah.
I Can't Get No Satisfaction. You know that song?
Everybody knows that song.
I would have said the same thing about Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Woman like me.
I want to hear the riff of that one and compare it to the riff we just heard, because I think they're actually kind of similar, which I never noticed before.
Okay. And it's not on the same album?
No. Satisfaction came out years before.
Oh, before.
Yeah, a little similar.
They're cousins.
They're cousins.
Not twins.
No. You may not know this, but in 1986, there was a movie called Jumpin' Jack Flash. It was a Whoopi Goldberg movie. And
Nope.
Aretha Franklin made a cover of it for the movie. And Keith Richards and Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones play on this as well. We're going to watch a video of it from 1986.
Yippee.
Oh, 80s. Who doesn't love Aretha Franklin?
I don't know how to feel.
Still sounds good though.
She's so impressive. There were many crimes committed in the 80s, but none so arduous as
The fashion?
yeah.
It's always fun to watch 80s videos because we do that a lot on our Patreon.
They're period pieces.
Yes.
And somewhere in the universe they
Yes.
find thousands and thousands of years away from here.
Yes.
When we are dead and gone, they will still exist. Sobering.
Okay, the next single from that year by them, August 1968, Street Fighting Man.
Street Fighter!
I think this was a US single. I don't think this was released as a single in the UK. And it did eventually appear on their next album, which came out like months later, Beggars Banquet. The single, I believe, was in mono, but we're going to be listening to the stereo version from the album. We actually have technically heard a little bit of this song before. I know you're not going to remember, but back when we did Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album, when we did Go Your Own Way.
Boundaries?
You know the song Go Your Own Way
Yeah.
by Fleetwood Mac. Okay. Well, the drum groove in that is similar to the drum groove in this song, so that's why we listened to it. This was controversial when it came out because it was considered like a socio-political statement, even though the lyrics are basically ambiguous. You know, they're not really...
I'll be the judge.
It's not like they're telling you go out and start an armed revolution in the lyrics, but they're talking about that stuff. I don't think it did so great as a single because of the controversy. I think some radio stations like refused to play it because they didn't want to incite violence.
Goodness.
I think Keith Richards says, I wish you could start a revolution with
That's
a song.
for real. That's the first thought that came into my head. That's a potent song.
Well, the Beatles also had the song Revolution come out around the same time. There's some Indian influence in this song. There's actually a sitar. Brian Jones, who played a lot of different instruments, plays the sitar on this song. It's also one of the last songs that Brian Jones played a major part in. He would soon after this, not right away, but it's coming soon, be fired. And then after that, he's going to die. Keith again on acoustic guitar and bass. I don't think Bill Wyman's even on this song. There's a cool drum sound, but I read that it's actually being played on a small portable drum kit. So if you didn't know Jumpin' Jack Flash, you're definitely not going to know this song. Pretty big drum sound for a portable kit.
Everywhere I hear the sound of Martin George feet, boy. 'Cause summer's here and the time is right for fighting in the street, boy. And what can a poor boy do except to sing for a rock and roll band? 'Cause the sleep is done down there. Just no place for street-body man. No. Hey, think the time is right for Valley's revolution. 'Cause where I live, the game to play is compromise solution. Well, what can a poor boy do except to sing for a rock and roll band? 'Cause the sleeping London town, there's just no place for street-body man. No. Hey, so my name is called Disturbance. I'll shout and scream, I'll kill the king, I'll rail at all his servants. Well, what can a poor boy do except to sing for a rock and roll band? 'Cause the sleeping London town, there's just no place for street-body man. No. Hear that?
I think there's another Indian instrument on there too. Not sure what it is.
I get the political statement of it, but I don't get the whole "let's riot now" statement. Maybe it took
No.
a whole lot less back in those days.
They were paranoid back then about this
Right.
stuff.
Right,
You know,
right.
rock and roll is corrupting our
Drugs.
youth stuff.
Right. The whole everything all the time.
Where do you get? Where do we get the sympathy for the devil? We're not.
That
That's next
is
video,
Great title.
isn't it? We'll talk about it next video, though.
Okay.
Are you liking these little 3-minute songs? Quite the contrast from Pink Floyd or from live Led Zeppelin. But they were the masters at these kind of
Quick
kind of
riffs?
rock.
Okay.
Yeah, this kind of
yeah.
rock and roll. Wrapping it up, we're going to listen to another cover song. This time it's from the year 2000. I like Rage Against the Machine. Although
you probably know more about them than I do, actually.
well, I don't know a lot about them because I only know their big songs. I don't know their deep cuts. Very different. resemble it at all. At least not yet.
All I'm picturing is that 67-year-old grandma who knows how to do Rage Against the Machine covers.
Everywhere I hear the sound of marching, charging feet.
That's not what his voice usually sounds like.
Definitely 2000.
Summer's here and the time is right for fighting in the street, boy. Tell me, what can a poor boy do?
That's more like it sounds.
Sing for a rock and roll band. 'Cause it is sleepy, lay down, there's just no place for street fighting man.
It's not
A
bad.
street fighting man. A street fighting man. A street fighting man.
It's a rock mix.
It's interesting. I mean, they have a lot of songs like this, so it's not unusual for them. It was okay. And it's their kind of music, so they made it theirs, that's for sure. They didn't just copy it.
No.
But there's other songs of theirs I prefer much better. They can funk out, they can rock out. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, patrons. If you're new to this channel, you may not know this, but we have patrons on Patreon, and their support is greatly appreciated and necessary because we couldn't do it without them. If you're interested in our Patreon, here's the information. Links in the description. We have extra videos there for our patrons. And we love your comments. And if you want to like the video or share it, that helps as well. So thanks. If you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you do that? Why don't you? Because we need subscriptions to grow the channel. So if you want to help us out, that's a good way to help us out. And if you'd like to leave us a tip, you can do so with PayPal or the thanks button in some of our videos. Any donations of $5 or more will be recognized in our next video. Okay, so next time we're going to do two of the singles that came out in 1969 by the Rolling Stones. Sympathy for the Devil and Honky Tonk Women.
Nice.
Again, two more classics of theirs, so I can't wait for that. Until then, we'll check you later. Bye.
Jump,
going on?
jump, everybody's got jump, jump.
What if at this point you realize that I'm a genie in a bottle and he only rubs me when we have to listen to new music?
She said rub.